Cutting your sales cycle in half sounds pretty impossible, right? But that's exactly what Sandler Trading did with HubSpot. They used Breeze, HubSpot's AI tools, to tailor every customer interaction without losing their personal touch. And the results were pretty incredible. Click-through rates jumped 25%, qualified leads quadrupled, and people spent 3 times longer on their landing pages. You can go to HubSpot.com to see how Breeze can help your business grow. Good morning, everyone. Today's Monday, May 12th. I'm Jon Weigell here with the Executive Director of the Webby Awards, Jesse Feister, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. One award is synonymous with the internet, a Webby. But why are the Webbies such a big deal every year, and how do you even come by one as a company or as a solo content creator? If you ponder these questions, it's your lucky day today. In advance of the Webby Awards today, we're joined by the new Executive Director of the Webbies, Jesse Feister, to talk about how the Webbies works, how creators and brands can stand out next year, and his point of view on AI in the creator economy. But before that, let's give you the news in business and tech. To start us off, Billy Evans, the partner of the disgraced Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes, is attempting to raise money for a new startup, a blood testing startup. Apparently not an elaborate prank at all, Evans' startup, Hey Manthus, says it's, quote, the future of diagnostics. The company aims to raise over $50 million to develop a device that can test blood, saliva, and urine, and plans to begin with pets before progressing to human tests. What could go wrong? Next, in big tech news, Google will pay Texas $1.4 billion to settle data privacy violation allegations. The state's attorney general sued Google in 2022 for unlawfully tracking and collecting private data from users, including movements, private searches, and biometric data. Google taking a hammer and across the world in the courts. From there, we move to the FDA. The FDA approved the first ever at-home cervical cancer screening test developed by startup Teal Health. Patients will be able to use the test from home with a telehealth appointment, but its accuracy matched that of a cancer screening performed in an actual doctor's office. And finally, Flow, a futuristic all-electric trailer from startup Pebble, is now in production. The minimalistic design would be enough to stand out in any campground across America, but Flow's 2 promised show-stopping features that it'll come with are a self-hitching capability that senses and secures itself to the tow vehicle, and a one-touch auto setup that finds level ground and sets up camp wherever you are. That'll really get people talking, and it's all just for under $110,000. Good luck with that. Okay, look, side hustles fail when they consume all of your time. I mean, every single bit of it. The pros, though, work smarter with AI doing all the heavy lifting. To help you out, we just dropped the Side Hustle Accelerator database. You can search your exact problem for your side hustle, grab the perfect prompt, and get results. If you're struggling with marketing, content, and customer service, it's all solved in just seconds. This isn't just another tool, guys. It's your unfair advantage in a spreadsheet. So stop asking AI the wrong questions and start scaling with what actually works. You can get it for free in the link in our show notes. And you can stop right now, actually. Why don't you take a look down at those show notes and tap the link. You don't want to sleep on this. On to our main segment today, and we're joined by Jesse Feister, the Executive Director of the Webbies, to talk about getting noticed as a creator or a brand, AI, and how awards themselves are decided year after year. So let's get into it. Welcome, Jesse. How are you doing today? Great to have you on.
Doing well, John. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. I know you're a busy guy. You know, the award's coming up on May 12th. So thanks for making the time.
It's going to be a fun show this year.
Yeah.
And it's my first one as executive director. So just watching how it all comes together is pretty impressive.
I know. Very impressive. I saw it was the 29th anniversary of the Webbies, which is insane to think about that it's been 29 already.
Yeah. 29 years in a row. 1996, the first year, I guess the internet sort of worked out for the Webbies.
Yeah.
You know, 96, it was not quite what it is today, and the internet keeps growing, and here we are.
Yeah, it was a really good thing to hitch the wagon to early on.
If you're going to do it, that's a good bet, right?
That's right. How would you say the awards are different this year from any year prior? I know you integrated some new categories. Tell me about it.
I mean, I think the big change this year is we have a dedicated category for creators.
Yeah.
And it's not like we haven't recognized creators in the past. Creators have always been a part of the internet. And so through our various other categories, social, podcasts, video and film, there have been creators that have shown up at the Webbies and they've been an important part of the community, but we never had a dedicated category for the format. And this is our first year of sort of rolling this out. And it's been a big success so far. We had a lot of amazing entries and we have some amazing winners too. So it really has played out in a way that I think we hoped. Yeah. And we're excited to just continue to welcome more and more creators to the fold. But that's what the internet is becoming now. And it's a great time for us to sort of be formally embracing them with a category.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a great idea to introduce that category. I'm surprised it wasn't introduced sooner, given, like you said, how much of the internet is composed by creators on, YouTube, TikTok, or whatever platform that they emanate off of. So it's really exciting to have them recognized as well as bigger players and bigger brands in the space.
Yeah, and I think we've always had them showing up. They were coming in through various categories, but I think, the pandemic really kicked off a brand new era for creators and the formats just evolved rapidly. You had people at home watching, you had people who had time to kind of try out the content formats. And we're a couple of years past that, and it's a real solidified format now. It's not just people distributing content on social sites. It's like the person themselves is like fundamental to what that content is. And that's sort of is the threshold where it feels like that's an appropriate category for us.
Yeah, absolutely. With these new creator categories, there's great expanses of many creators out there. But how would you say that creators are kind of suggested for these awards, given, there's just so many out there?
Yeah, so we always do evolve our categories based on how the internet evolves, but also what we hear from people in the community. The way that we rolled it out this year, there are two sort of big groupings. Individual creator, so like a creator working in a specific space. Mm-hmm. So, like fashion and beauty or food, that is its own organization of categories. Whereas the creator excellence is sort of about what it takes to create that format itself. So video editing, best short form, and sort of like recognizing the formats themselves and the creative excellence that goes into doing that really well too.
How can creators, for next year even, kind of stand out amongst the crowd for like the 30th anniversary of the Webbies?
I think it's interesting because one of the challenges with just the internet as it is that excellence isn't always reflected just into the numbers. It's a signal that something's working, but there's also sort of a lot of room for something really great to be happening that may just have a niche and it's not as big as something else. So our judges sort of make up a mix of different types of people from across the industry. We have creators, we have people who work at platforms, we have people who work across the creator economy involved. I think the big things are really just doing something that stands out. That's really what the Webbies are known for. That's what we try to recognize. That can mean different things in different contexts, but I think you have a creator landscape where it's very easy to just jump on a trend or just do something that someone else is doing.
Yeah.
The Webbies are really about recognizing the people that are innovating and doing something new to stand out. That's our North Star.
Yeah, given that conversation about, being original, and I've heard you talk about this before, but I definitely wanted to pick your brain on kind of the integration of artificial intelligence into creating content, whether that's video content, podcast content.
Yeah.
We have AIs that could do practically anything nowadays, and it's only going to get better. So what is kind of your positioning on the role that it should play in creating on the internet?
So I look at it very much through the lens of tech history. I'm a musician, I have a music background, but I'm old enough to know that there were analog studios. You just recorded music on tape with, 2-inch reels.
Right.
And I came of age sort of right when digital Pro Tools at the time came to market. And it was a really big deal because it was like, this is not how you do it.
Right.
So you had engineers, you had people who really, really respected the process of analog recording. I'm one of those people. I think it's amazing.
Sure.
It's very like tangible and real, but digital came of age and it changed how people recorded, right? It did become easier. Mm-hmm. More people started participating in the process. You had all sorts of digital implementation into music and it fundamentally changed music, but I don't think it changed the core part of what matters, which is you have to be able to connect with a human being.
Right.
You have to be able to make something that connects with another person. And the technology is a tool to do that. And I think you're going to see as AI comes more and more into the world of creativity, that more people are going to be able to sort of participate and be creative. but you still have to be able to do something that matters to someone else. And you have to have a way to connect with another human or multiple people. And I don't think that AI gets rid of that. I think that if anything, it just gives more people access to doing something. And if you can connect with another human and you do something that matters, I don't really have a problem with how you do it. It's all about being able to connect with someone out there. And if the tool helps you do that more effectively, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, I like your point how it's right now kind of easier to create than ever. The advent of the smartphone, the advent of being able to film wherever you want, whatever you want, being able to edit at home, all these things coming out over the years kind of pushed the envelope and allowed people to make their voice heard.
I'm a huge believer in just let more people be creative and let them put whatever they want out into the world. I think that's ultimately a good thing to have more people to have access to the opportunities that they maybe wouldn't have had prior. But it also creates a lot of noise because you have a lot of people who just aren't that good.
Right.
That's okay. You should be able to try. But to make something that really stands out and connects with the world is hard to do. I don't think technology makes that fundamentally any easier. And the Webbies are really here to recognize that sort of work.
Right.
I very much believe in how technology can be good for the creative world, but we also need to sort of be able to address some of the challenges that come with that.
Yeah.
And I think that noise and defining excellence is one of those.
Yeah, because there's a lot of good stuff. There's more good stuff than there's ever been because of the quantity of everything. But some other angle I wanted to take here is kind of about brands too, and how brands have been able to increase their footprint using platforms like YouTube. And you established kind of a brand of the year category this year. And how do you measure what brands are on top of the food chain across the web?
Yeah, this is the first year that we launched Brand of the Year. Google won Brand of the Year this year. And the way that we measure that is just the sum of total number of wins across the Academy. So the Webby Awards themselves that are judged by our Academy members. People's Voice winners. So there's sort of a mirrored winner in every category that's voted on by the internet. And then honorees and nominations as well. So that's a mix of all of those sort of recognitions sort of adding up into the most. And this year it was Google.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I think given that brands have so much ability, like you hear a lot of brands not only are making video, not only are taking their content to short form video, but they're also getting into newsletters and like Substack and all that stuff. So it's really incredible like what can be done nowadays to reach people in your target audience and in your target niche and be able to become a brand like, for example, Chili's,
right,
that's been doing so well given everything around it is on fire.
I think that there's so much room for creativity with brand marketing, and it's easy to discount it in the creative world. Sometimes people are like it's marketing, but ultimately a lot of the creativity that's happening in the world is happening in the world of brands and marketing. And there's some amazing stuff legitimately contributing to culture. And there's a lot of great creative people putting their best work into that space. And so we've always recognized brands. It's an important part of the internet. We will continue to do so. And I think the creator landscape makes it even more interesting because you've got brands sort of stepping into the creator personas in interesting ways. It's a whole new world, but the brands that are jumping on it are having a lot of fun. And they're realizing, to your point, like Chili's, if you pop off, it can actually move the needle. You can start to move product in ways that you would never have been able to prior. And it's always fun to see that when something just takes off on TikTok and all of a sudden a brand is sort of resurrected into this new market. It's like, oh, that's the internet,
Right. Yeah. That's the cyclical value of the internet. So how would you say that the Webby Awards changes with the digital landscape, and alongside it, do you kind of chalk it up to the diversity of judges and the diversity of people on the committee, or how do you consistently flip it every year?
Yeah, it's a combination of all the above. Like we really spend a lot of time with our academy. We have 3,000 members from all over the world who are sort of leaders in their respective spaces. So we spend a lot of time, usually after the awards, just getting a sense from that community. What's changing? What matters? What are you up to? What are you hearing? We also spend a lot of time thinking about it ourselves. We're all internet junkies at the Webbies, as you might imagine. You don't want to see my screen time report at the end of the week.
I would not.
But I kind of chalk it up to it being like, it's okay. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's a combination of really getting a lot of qualitative feedback from the community and also sort of what our team's instincts are. And ultimately, we want to be able to recognize where great creative work is happening. And we want to be recognizing the work that's influencing culture on the internet. And I think we have a wide enough net to sort of get a sense of that every year. It's never perfect, but we do a pretty good job of evolving.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so. Looking forward to the award show on the 12th of May. This will come out on that day.
All right.
So definitely go live stream it if you're listening right now, or get out there in person if you can. And Jesse, thank you very much for coming on. It's been so great to chat with you, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, thank you, Jon. It's great to be here.
Yeah, good luck tonight. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. You can tune into the Webby's live stream tonight. We're a proud part of HubSpot Media. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go get yourself signed up at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at The Hustle Daily. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey everybody, I've been listening to this great podcast lately. You got to check it out. It's called Content is Profit. It's hosted by Luis and Fonzie Camejo, and it's brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. So in this podcast, you can discover the secrets and strategies on how your business can achieve the frictionless sale. We talk about frameworks, strategies, tactics, and bring special guests to bring you all the information you need in order to turn your content into profit. Recently, they did a whole episode on micro creators and UGC and how those things are transforming the social media industry, especially for profit. They had a guest on, William Gassner, who is the co-founder of Stack Influence. So definitely check that episode out if you want to learn more about the social media landscape as it is currently. You can listen to Content as Profit wherever you get your podcasts.